You're looking at live pictures right now. Mitt Romney's rally in Rick Santorum's home state of Pennsylvania, out there campaigning to beat him on his home turf. Earlier today in Washington, Romney fired back at the president, saying that Obama was hiding his true agenda from the American public.
He wants us to reelect him so we can find out what he'll actually do. With all the challenges the nation faces, this is not the time for President Obama's hide-and-seek campaign.
And joining us to discuss this bruising preview of the general election and more, Deputy Time Magazine Bureau Chief Michael Crowley, Democratic strategist Maria Cardona, and Romney advisor Kevin Madden. Thanks to all of you for being here. I'll get right to you, Kevin, on this. Yeah. So what's with the hide and seek? This is a theme that seems to be emerging. What does he mean by that?
Well, look, I think the country faces great challenges, whether it's spending and deficit that we've seen pile up under the president's leadership, and we've also seen a number of issues related to the economy that the president has not led on, namely entitlement reform. And so what you're seeing is Republicans that are putting out their very specific ideas about their vision for the future and what it would do to put the country right back on track. And the president hasn't stepped up to the plate and hasn't worked with either Democrats or Republicans up on Capitol Hill to confront many of these big challenges. And I think that's going to be one of the big choices that voters face in November.
Well, that's what was so interesting to me about his speech today, and I'll give this one to you, Maria, because he was very specific in terms of what he would do on entitlement programs, and he also hit the president pretty hard on entitlements. Take a listen.
I mean, how in the world can you be running for president, can you be president as well, and not have put forward a plan to make sure that Medicare and Social Security are solvent?
There is no plan from this White House on making Medicare and Social Security solvent, is there?
Well, actually, the president already talked about how you do Medicare, and it's actually done through health care reform. He's saved billions of dollars on Medicare. He has actually put forth a plan several times, State of the Union, in his budget that balances the budget not on the backs of working class families and middle class families the way that Mitt Romney's plan does, and actually puts investments where we need them to be in order to continue to create jobs and continue on the path of economic growth that this president started thanks to the recession that he was handed, that frankly the policies that Mitt Romney wants to embrace were responsible for that recession in the first place. So I think he's in a good place with voters.
Yeah, and I think that it's true that the president hasn't, there's not kind of a nice published thick plan. There is the budget, but some of the details on entitlements, I think the president has not committed to paper. But I think what the White House would say, and it's a reasonable answer, is he really did try to work with Republicans on Capitol Hill. They tried to have a grand bargain. It seems like John Boehner could not deliver the right wing of the party, the Tea Party.
Each side is trying to write history in its own way.
It's true, but it's not as though the president has just sat back and thrown his hands up in the air. I mean, it really does seem like he's made a good faith effort. I think Kevin would quibble with some of the details in this, but from the reporting I've seen, I think he has. The other quick point on health care, what happened when he tried to control health care costs? Death panels. I mean, Romney himself said in a recent interview, if you get too specific, you get distorted and attacked, so it's tricky.
So we have ads ran in 2010 hitting the Democrats for cutting Medicare.
Okay, so we have the hide-and-seek campaign. Then now both sides seem to be accusing each other of being out of touch. Just listen to this quickly, and then we'll get your view on that.
We have to win here, and we plan on winning here. As I said last night, the people in Pennsylvania know me. All of the negative attacks are, I think, going to fall on a lot of deafening. We've got a strong base of support here, and we're going to work very, very hard, and then we're going to get into.
Okay, that's not our soundbite about out of touch, but it was Rick Santorum saying that he's going to stay in the race.
And he's somewhat out of touch, arguably.
Right. Okay.
I'll let Michael make that argument.
That's a very good segue. But I want to get back to the out of touch thing for a moment, which is, so you have somebody who says that his wife drives a couple of Cadillacs, calling the president out of touch because he flies around on Air Force One with, quote, true believers. Can we call it a draw here or not?
Well, look, I mean, I think you're talking about small things, anecdotes, versus really big things. And I think this is going to be an election about very big things. The challenge that this White House has and this president has is taking a message to the American public that says, over 8% unemployment is the new normal, and we're going to kind of plot along at 2 to 3% growth, and that is the best American could do. And I think that sets up very perfectly for Governor Romney to come in and say, look, the American economy is not living up to its full potential. This president will tell you it is. I have a vision, I have a plan forward that's going to put the country back on track economically. It's going to create more jobs, deliver more economic growth. And that, again, is the choice I think is going to be for voters.
Okay, we are running out of time. Very quick, very quick.
If Mitt Romney's only criticism can be out of touch, it's like saying, you know, I'm rubber, you're glue, and it sounds very middle schoolish, and it's not going to, it's not credible.
That
it's
is
not
small,
credible.
and this is going to be a very big debate.
It's going to be very big.
Okay, we're going to have Michael.
The president was arguing before that the economy could be worse. Now Romney has the burden of saying it could be better. I think it's a hard argument for Romney to make, so the question is whether he can pull that off.
Not with an aspirational American public.
All right, okay, last word. We'll have to bring you guys back. Sorry about that. And coming up,